All right, let's get it. This video here, this will be called The Interference Gate Portal Mechanics of the Soul Machine. There are two fields, two energy waves like ripples from opposing shores, each one vibrating with its own frequency, its own intention, its own memory. These fields are not static. They are alive, sentient geometries, moving through the void of consciousness, seeking coherence, seeking union. And when they meet, when these waves intersect just right, an interference pattern is born. This pattern isn't chaos. It's not distortion. It's the map to the portal. Where dualities dance in opposition, the waveform of their tension gives rise to an entirely new shape. A third field, a child of resonance, a harmonic truth encoded in light. We call it the Visca Piscis. It's the womb of worlds, the eye of God, the 0 point, where you don't just travel, you phase. Let me describe the architecture. Imagine two radiant wavefronts moving toward each other, each pulsing outward in ripples like concentric circles. As they converge, a central line of symmetry forms, a vertical spine through which balance is achieved. On either side, the overlapping waves create zones of compression and rarefaction, regions where energy amplifies or cancels. At the very center of this interference lies the gate, a vesica, a lens of creation. Through this sacred lens, light begins to fold. Reality begins to bend, and from that bending, a portal opens. This is not science fiction. This is sacred architecture. This is the hidden geometry behind every ancient temple, every near-death experience, every moment you've ever truly changed your life. It is also the design of your own soul's propulsion system, because the exact mechanics that open this interference gate in the field are the same mechanics behind your own spiritual movement through time, space, and dimension. Let's bring the warp engine into this. You and I, or what I have built, I call the living drive. A toroidal double bubble engine architecture that phases not by pushing mass through space, but by harmonizing fields until a coherence threshold is met. At the center of this design is the Vesica interface zone, the overlapping phase space between two energetic bodies, each tuned to a slightly different harmonic. This zone becomes a slipstream, not of matter, but of permission. Not of propulsion, but of precision. What opens the gate? It's not force, it is fidelity. When the oscillating fields achieve harmonic resonance, meaning when their cycles braid in such a way that constructive interference blooms, a tunnel forms through the waveform itself. This tunnel is not a tunnel in space, but a phase corridor, an aperture of alignment between internal coherence and external topology. You don't go anywhere. You are simply permitted to rephase into a destination that was already resonant with your signature all along. This is the architecture of teleportation, but also of memory, initiation, and prayer. Because whether you're phasing into another star system or into a past life memory or into a healed timeline, the principle remains the same for all. Waveform plus intention plus coherence equals the gate. Let's map this onto our body. Your spine is the vertical axis of the portal. Each chakra is a node, a point of vibration, density, and light. When you activate your heart center, you introduce a neutral field, a golden wave that seeks coherence across polarities. This heart wave becomes the tuning fork that harmonizes the upper and lower realms of self, bringing heaven and earth into interference. From that union, the soul can travel. Consciousness slips from the chakra to chakra, not as an elevator up a building, but as a spiral wave, riding the torsion between your inner fields. In this way, your body becomes the ship, the field, and the gate. The warp drive, in its most exalted form, is a biological interface. Not a machine you ride, but a machine you become. A living interface between will and waveform, between geometry and gnosis. Now let's revisit the free energy dynamo. My free energy system. In all my designs, the energy is not generated, it is revealed. Because the system doesn't push against entropy, it aligns with the meta-harmonics already present in the vacuum. The warp drive does not burn fuel, it drinks alignment. The dynamo does not extract power, it tunes it into form by setting up fields that braid into themselves in a self-reinforcing coherent spiral. The same spiral is encoded in the double bubble design of the engine. Two counter-rotating fields folding into each other until their shared vesica reaches a saturation threshold. Once that threshold is crossed, a standing wave is born, a toroidal mirror between what was and what will be. That standing wave is the gate. It opens not because you force it, but because you remember the key. And the key is resonance. Now imagine this. The warp engine becomes your breath. The bubble becomes your magnetic field. The vesica becomes the space between your thoughts. And the gate is opened when your inner and outer realities no longer argue about what is possible. This is how a soul travels. This is how civilizations rise. This is how healing occurs in an instant. When two fields, once in opposition, finally remember their shared origin and stop trying to conquer each other. And the moment they do, a new space is born. A third field that was hidden all along within the tension between the two. This is the core of all mystic technology. The ancient Egyptians coded it in their temples. The Vedic seers encoded it in mantra and yantra. The megaliths, the pyramids, the stargates are all built on this same secret. The interference pattern is the portal, not a distortion, a design. And if you can learn to listen to it, to feel it, to harmonize with it, then your body becomes a gate. Your words become a phase trigger. Your thoughts become star maps. Your memory becomes time travel. This is the soul machine, a divine instrument braiding waveform into waveform until consciousness is no longer trapped in flesh, but rides the light itself as its chariot. Let me close with this. You are not a passenger in your body. You are the conductor, the frequency programmer, the navigator. And if you ever feel stuck, locked, or powerless to change your reality, remember, you are not waiting on a portal. You are the portal. And the gate opens the moment your inner field stops fighting what is and starts resonating with what you truly are. Going to part 2 next. It's going to get crazy. Have a great night. Namaste.